Hello, it is Sunday, October 9th, 2022. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Sunday puzzle today, which means a large grid and something themed, and probably something entertainingly themed, as this puzzle was constructed by Ross Trudeau, who is particularly known for his amusing themes. So this should be a fun solve, and this potentially amusing edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Those are the constructors. The people who have brought this episode to us are Joe Percy, Jake Rodkin, and, as always, the inestimable Hood Monster, the invaluable Timothy Mark, and the indomitable Shulmaster. So thank you so much to the five of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their support in sustaining this channel. I do very much appreciate that. And if you'd like to join their ranks and get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, you can find that at patreon.com/dailysolve or in a link in the description field underneath the video. And of course, there you can also become a patron at any level and get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week. Thank you to everybody who has done that, who's become a patron at any level. It does keep this a sustainable project for me, so thank you so much. And if you do enjoy these videos, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. And tell a friend. Why not? Consider telling a friend. Consider liking the videos with the button. All right, let's get on to the puzzle. This is a Sunday crossword. It's entitled Rise to the Challenge. So maybe something going upward in the grid. We'll have to see. It was constructed by Jesse Trudeau and Ross Trudeau. They are recently married, and Jesse has constructed, I think, something around half a dozen puzzles for the New York Times, and Ross dozens and dozens. So let's start solving. Like the protagonist at the start of 28 Days Later. All alone or solitary or something? I think that's the case, right? Doesn't that film start with... Is it set in London? I can't even remember, but it's completely empty, I think. Okay, communications on Slack, e.g. IMs or DMs for instant messages or direct messages probably has an M here. Group of fighters. A militia? Let's check the crosses on that. Organization funding COVID-19 research. National Institutes of Health, maybe? National Institute of Health? In the manner of Allah, right? So, from the French, and then roughly, I'm not sure, kinda maybe. Does that work? I'm not sure if that's right. Let's look at this. Then again, in a tweet. On the other hand, you might say. Then again, upscale hotel room feature. Not sure about that. One calling for a tow, maybe. So it could be someone with a car that's broken down, but I'm not sure. So let's see. Like the protagonist at the start. Oh, alone. Maybe this is a rebus of some sort. Roughly. I mean, maybe this is wrong and I'm just getting misled. I'm not sure. Misleading myself. My blank number one hit for the knack must be My Siorna. I have to admit, I did not know the name of the group behind My Siorna, the knack, but it must be that. Okay, roughly. So it could mean roughly meaning approximately, or it could mean roughly meaning not smoothly. But I'm not sure in either case. Yeah. Upscale hotel room feature, one calling for a tow, maybe, a AAA member? So AAA being the Automobile Association of America, I'm pretty sure. And if you're a member of that organization, you might call them to have your car towed. So that could be it. So, okay, so, right. This is probably not a rebus or something thematic, because it looks like this clue has an asterisk, which is usually what indicates the a theme clue in puzzles that are clued that way. Worker with a brush, 3 rungs. 3 rungs. I don't I'm not sure yet what that is. Worker with a brush. How blank your mother. Okay, I've not seen this, but I've certainly heard of the program How I Met Your Mother, so I think that's the answer there. Cons vote. Nay. In other words, pro and con vote yay or nay. One way to recoil. You could recoil in horror. One of the two main branches of Buddhism. Oh, I'm not sure. I'll probably recognize it when I see it, but I'm not sure off the top of my head. Blank wise guy, eh? Oh, so a wise guy, eh? You might say. Like some humor, you could have dry humor. Oh, I thought this was maybe going to be Maharaja. Is that? No. Is that right? I think I might just be thinking of a completely incorrect word. Important stretch could be an era. Maybe it's similar to that and I'm getting it confused. Stretch longer than an 11 across. So an 11 across is an era. So, okay, so it's not, this isn't a J. Stretch longer than an era is an eon. And oh, and this is a dash. Right. So the dash usually means it's continuing on from an earlier clue. Like it could be, for instance, I don't know if this is actually the case in this particular puzzle, but a common thing would be for this clue's answer to be continuing on to this dashed clue. That's often what that means, but I'm not sure just yet. Mario, who founded a fashion empire. I don't know. Prada? Not sure. That's just my guess based on the R there. Something deep. In visual, oh wow, okay, so here's a revealer. Wow, this is a huge answer. You don't always see these in Sunday grid spanning answers. Visual depiction of the apparatus used by the starred professionals. Oh, interesting. I do not know what this is, so maybe I should delete this. What was this? Oh no, right, this was one of those. Okay, let's just go back to the crosses. Lady Macduff, e.g. Lady Macduff. What are we looking for there? Male deer. A stag. See ya. Something taken by a waiter. An order? Maybe this isn't a stag. NBA All-Star Gobert or Gobert, I'm not sure. Fuel option. Diesel fuel, maybe? So this does look like Prada, doesn't it? Oh, and here's another dash. What about this one? Completely pooped. Beat. Okay, so this doesn't look like it continues from that because it just doesn't look like it. Because this looks like a complete answer, I guess. That's what I'm getting at. Ciao could be ta-ta, maybe? Roughly. Circa? So that would be the approximately meaning of... oh, in a coma, maybe, the protagonist at the start of 28 Days Later. Right. I guess that's why they're surprised to be alone, right? Because they were in a coma during the events leading up to the, solitude. So communications on Slack are IMs, which is one of the things suspected it might be. And then, an upscale hotel room feature is a mini bar. Is that upscale necessarily? You often get those at cheap hotels as well to encourage you to spend extra money. Place with counselors is a camp counselors. And blank by the sea, California, Cardiff by the sea. Oh, no, Carmel by the sea. Sorry, Carmel by the sea. Wow, that's something I would imagine there are even some Californians who aren't familiar with if you're just not from that region of California. That's a pretty specific clue, but maybe it's more well-known than I was aware of it being. I don't know. Structure resembling a pergola. Not sure what structure, arbor, what structure fits there. Mafia is to Sicilia as Camorra is to Naples. The Camorra sort of crime syndicate sort of thing, I suppose. There was a film called Gomorrah about that group, and it was absolutely bleak. It was an Italian film. I remember seeing it in a theater in Berkeley, California, and boy, that was a bleak movie. Okay, Worker with a brush. Oh, a chimney sweep. Oh, okay. So sweep. So where does that go? Does it go in here or does it go somewhere else where maybe these dashes are? What does that mean? I mean, here we have eep. Oh, maybe it's not dry humor, but rye humor. So there's the sweep. Right, okay. So here's our chimney sweep, and we're rising to the challenge. So what is going to go all the way down here? Visual depiction of the apparatus used by the starred professionals. Okay, so chimney sweep is our first starred professional, and we're going to have more, presumably. All right, let's keep going through the puzzle. Oh, dash. So this will be rising from elsewhere as well. ACC school, not sure what that is. Maker of pilots and passports. Oh. These are either vehicles or pens, and I'm not sure which. Team blank. Oh boy, that could be anything. I mean, in the New York Times crossword, it might be Team USA. It might be referring to the Olympic team. Yeah, I think it is. So to harden yourself to a particular hardship, to inure yourself to it. Snowboards well informally. Shreds, you could shred on a snowboard. Lady Macduff, male deer. Oh, heart. Heart. There we go. Heart. That's what I should have thought of first. Okay. Male deer is a heart. And NBA All-Star Gobert. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, let's just keep going. ACC School, Maker of Pilots and Passports. Bel Canto, 2001 Anne Patchett novel. I've read that novel. It's very good. Latin for trumpet. Is it tuba? Interestingly? I don't know. Well, the ACC school starting with U, I mean, just a school starting with U for university is pretty normal. Male, e.g., armor, chainmail, for instance. So that is tuba. That's funny. Latin for trumpet. Never knew that. Disinclined. If you're disinclined to do something, you're averse to it. And temple text. Temple text. Oh, the Talmud. There we go. So then what was this? UVA. Wasn't that in the crossword yesterday? Or the day before? Maybe it was either yesterday or the day before. That's funny. What about this? Captain with a periscope. 4 rungs. A submarine. Oh, this isn't Naples. It's Napoli, of course, because Sicilia is spelled in the Italian manner rather than the anglicized version. So similarly, Naples will be Napoli. There we go. Okay. So Captain with the periscope. A submarine. Where does it go? Up here. Submarine commander? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So we have a chimney sweep, a submarine commander. I guess those are both people working in sort of vertical. Yeah, right. They both sort of, their jobs have very specific vertical components to them. And there is this big, long vertical answer that pertains to that. Anyway, let's keep looking. Some military wear informally. Camo for camouflage. Carpet specification is pill or peel or pile. Yeah, it's something to do. This is something to do with the kind of thickness of the carpeting, I think. Output from Sappho would be odes. There we go, the official poetic form of the New York Times crossword puzzle. Perceived is what? Seen or deemed or understood, or I can't see it. Airport with a BART station. Well, that is SFO, the San Francisco International Airport. Oakland International Airport also has a BART station, but that wouldn't fit here. BART is Bay Area Rapid Transit. It's the commuter rail system in the San Francisco Bay Area. Oh, if something is perceived, it's felt. There we go. That's perfectly reasonable. Expelled from the body, spewed or secreted, or there's going to be a lot of disgusting synonyms for this. Emitted, what is this? Narcissist's treasure and ego. Narcissist is self-involved. Expelled from, egested. There we go. Opposite of ingested, egested. There we go. All right. So what about this? I don't think we've looked at this clue yet. Rabble rouse. Raise a stir. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Something taken by a waiter is your order, right? Oh, right. I didn't put that in because I didn't have heart in there correctly. Oh, Lady Macduff, a Scot. Oh, so maybe this isn't casuster. So Lady Macduff is a Scot. There we go. And then Sia, oh, I see. TTYL, talk to you later. And then Rudy Gobert looks like the answer to the NBA All-Star. All right. So, beach in Rio de Janeiro, informally. Oh, I'm not sure. The only place I've been in Brazil is Sao Paulo. Not sure. From now, blank won't be hanging around. From now, maybe all then a letter for someone's name? Not sure. Just sort of sounds like it would fit the cadence. 1600 in ancient Rome. That would be, what, MDC? Is that right? Is D 500? I hope so. Tick off is, I'm not sure. Maker of pilots and, oh, Honda? That sort of sounds vaguely familiar. Honda Pilot, Honda Passport, that might be right. Boy, I'm not sure, but that sounds plausible. Tick off. Oh, to make mad. To anger somebody, to tick them off. Oh, from now on, I won't be hanging around. There we go. Okay, that fits just as well. The reason I said all something before is because I wanted it to be two words because it just felt like it matched the cadence of the line much better, but this version of two words didn't occur to me. And there it is. Oh, right. Okay, so here's another dash. Oh, interesting. So the submarine commander skipped over this one. Did that happen here as well? Chimney sweep? No, I don't think so. Oh, that's interesting. So this doesn't need to... The asterisk clue doesn't need to refer to the next highest dashed answer. That's interesting. This looks like kicker, maybe, or something. Oh, Copa? Beach and Raiders are picker. Oh, yeah, maybe it's cherry picker or something. Someone who, because again, that has that vertical component where you'd be lifted up. I bet it will be picker. So Otis, who founded the Otis Elevator Company. Alicia Otis, I think. Let's check the crosses on that. Welcomes as the new year rings in the new year. And adjustable bike part is a seat. You can easily adjust the seat of a bicycle. I'm frustrated. Gah, you might say. Oh, look at all these H's. Are these all going to be H's? Oh, they all alternate so far. And what goes in here, actually? Maybe we end up leaving these blank because this is, here we've already filled in the answers, so there's nothing cluing them. Oh, it's a ladder. It's a ladder. And the crossbars of the H's are rings. They all use ladders. A chimney sweep, a submarine commander, a something picker. I'm sure this will be a picker. I hope this is an A. Alicia Otis. Copa sounds right. Is that Copacabana? Is that the derivation of that? I'm not sure. Okay, lab eggs are ova. So, ova is sort of scientific terminology for eggs, maybe used in a laboratory, for instance. Former make of Ford Edsel. This has come up a few times recently. It was a famous flop, the Ford Motor Company, and I think was named after Henry Ford's son, I believe. Okay. Boxer Layla Ali, heard of her. And cloud is... I don't know, why do I not see that? Advances through corporate ranks, and what the answer to each starred clue in this puzzle does, well, it climbs the ladder. There we go. Very good. This is a very characteristic Ross Trudeau theme. You've got this sort of clever device illustrated in the grid, and then things working around it, and then the revealer refers to it. It all sort of ties in, as opposed to kind of just being an arbitrary, change you're making to some words or something like that, which is also perfectly fine. But this is its own unique kind of ambition of theme. I don't want to hear it. Spare me, you might say. Did I look at this? Stephen, who said, think books aren't scary? Well, think about this. You can't spell book without boo. Very good. Stephen Colbert, I guess. I don't think I've heard him say that, but it seems pretty plausible. Center of something could be its hub. And singer grande to fans, Ariana Grande, Ari, I think Ari, it'll be something like that, but that looks perfectly plausible. Certain sib, a bro, certain sibling, a brother, and sib being abbreviated means so will brother be. Pest control brand. Oh, Decon, I think I've seen. Pest control brand is a spray, maybe. And play title that superstitious actors avoid saying aloud in theaters, Macbeth, known as the Scottish play, in order to avoid having to say its name aloud, because it's often thought that productions of Macbeth are cursed. I don't know why saying the name would then be more cursed than actually performing the play itself, but what can you do? Maybe they avoid performing it as well. I don't know. To cloud something is to obscure it. And mon Dieu, my God, in French. Sci-fi novel made into films in 1984 and 2021. So 1984, the David Lynch, I don't know, I couldn't think of his name, production of Dune, David Lynch directed that Dune film. And then obviously, there was just another one last year. Map initials until 1991, USSR. It was Denis Villeneuve, I guess, directed that one. Skeptical reply to that's true is I see. That's true. Is it? No, that's a much better reply. I was thinking maybe sarcastic I see. It doesn't really work. It didn't work. Is it does work. Really good work. Nice job. Silly me. Dough, you might say. Activity one tries to get out of. An escape room? That's clever. So some things have really taken off in popularity over the past decade or so. Sort of rooms you participate with friends, or I guess strangers potentially as well, and you go into a room and it's locked and you have to get out by solving a series of puzzles that are arranged throughout the room, often without indicating what the puzzle is. Preppy clothing brand. Not sure. Doesn't ring a bell with that J. Seasonal orchard worker. Oh, here's the cherry picker. There we go. So, I see. Climbed 8 rungs. I didn't really pay attention to that bit of it. So we climb 8 rungs up the ladder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we reach picker. So there we go. Very good. Missed that. Or forgot about it, I suppose, more accurately. Currency to which the Maltese scudo is pegged. Here we go. The euro. Malta being a sort of European and North African, sort of straddling those regions, country. Okay. And here, this will be another one of our continuing clues. Celebrity gossip show with an exclamation point in its title. No idea. What about this? Opus Dei? Opus Dei? Is that the Holy See? Or is that something else? Could be misremembering. Hypnotized, say. Entranced or something like that. Celebrity gossip show. Yeah, I'm still not sure about that one. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, sushi condiment could be wasabi. A sort of horseradish-like condiment. Very, very nice. Doesn't help me with this though. What on earth is this? Writer known for his anthropomorphic animal characters. Maybe I'll delete wasabi. Maybe that's wrong. Could be ginger. Pickled ginger is a common sushi condiment. Does that help? I don't know. Feeling while watching a volcanic... Oh, well, this looks like wasabi again. Because maybe awe is what you would feel watching a volcanic eruption. And a quick kiss could be a peck. There we go. This is looking good. Pen that aptly rhymes with click. Bic is a brand of pen. Strand, perhaps. And then sound on Old MacDonald's farm. So what are the sound? Oh, oink would fit in here from the pig. An oink, 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 oink here and an oink, oink there, etc. Strand, perhaps. I'm not sure about that. Oh, Aesop, the fabulist, the Greek iconic writer of fables, who may or may not have existed, I suppose, as a single person, but we know those stories as Aesop's fables. Okay, strand, perhaps. Just something in to strand something in? Not sure. Okay, government bonds, Pope of 1963 to 78. 63 to 78. Oh, I don't know. That precede John Paul II. Staple of Dutch Golden Age art. According to, per instructions, according to instructions. Oh, J. Crew, preppy clothing brand. There we go. That's, I think, specific to the U.S., J. Crew. I'm fairly certain. Or maybe probably Canada as well. Narwhal's tusk is what? Don't know. One with a marsupium, affectionately. Roo? Kangaroo? Marsupial? Bacardi, e.g., in Mexico. So, a rum, how is rum not spelled? I don't know what rum is in Spanish. I assume that's what this is asking for. Narwhal's tusk is a torch? Doesn't really make sense. Why can't I see what this is? Ending with leuco or oo. Leukocyte or oocyte? I think that's right. Oocyte I certainly recognize. Not sure what leukocyte is, but it looks like a similar... Oh, tooth. Looks like a similar kind of biological term. Okay, so narwhal's tusk is a tooth. That's very interesting and weird. So Bacardi, is it R-O-M? Does that work with here? A worker for AT&T or Verizon. Oh, no, it'll be R-O-N, Ron. Interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. So telephone something, and we go 4 rungs up. Telephone repairman. There we go. Telephone repairman. Might climb the telephone lines. Okay. There we go. So what is this? Oh, to strand somebody, to snow them in. So that's why strand, perhaps. That's a way one might be stranded, is to be snowed in. What on earth is this? Celebrity gossip show with an exclamation point in the title. I just have no clue what this is. It looks like maybe a surname or something. Hypnotized, say. Enwrapped. If you're hypnotized, you're enwrapped. So what is this? E-news? Electronic news? Okay. Let's move on. Sung by a group is choral, as in a choral arrangement, a vocal, sung by a chorus. Or, I mean, choral could be smaller than groups that we would think of as being a chorus. Okay, government bonds. Okay, what have I not seen yet? I haven't seen this. Pleasant speech cadence is a lilt. Threat from a squealer is I'll talk, maybe? Someone is going to squeal to tell the police. Oh, a tulip, staple of Dutch Golden Age art. Yes, and tulips very much associated with the Netherlands. So, government bonds. Oh, alliances. Governments might form bonds with one another. In other words, form alliances. Common wall mirror shape. An oval is a common wall mirror shape. And then, oh, here we go. Paul VI, Pope of 1963 to 78. Okay, that was helpful. Breakfast that may be prepared overnight. You can prepare oats overnight in advance. And, oh, here will be one of our climbing professions. Painter, looks like. House painter or something like that. Black Cat author, Poe. Edgar Allan Poe. And genderqueer identity. Come back to that. Former NFL QB Kyle. No idea about that. 1/100th of a franc. I thought this would be a centime. So I guess I have, NB, genderqueer identity, NB, derived from non-binary. And then I'll tell will be the threat from a squealer. I'll tell rather than I'll talk. So that allows 1/100th of a franc to be the centime. And of course, France no longer uses the franc because it's part of the Eurozone. It uses the euro, but there are countries that use currencies called the franc, like Switzerland, for instance. Like people in crowds, whether intentionally or not, are elbowed, I guess, just generally. Iwo Jima, there we go. And prescription from a doc, e.g. is med for medicine. Newsroom heads for short are eds for editors. Surreptitious assents are sly nods, I suppose. So Kyle Orton, I suppose. Okay. Unsurprisingly, I was not familiar with that name, but that's fine. There we go. I think I got it from the crosses. Hope I got it correctly from the crosses. Pet rescue, e.g. could be maybe the SPCA, although in the US that would be the ASPCA. PETA, maybe? No, I don't think you'd use pet in an answer that had pet in the clue. Not sure. Chicken scratch, scrawl. Maybe it is the SPCA. The Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. I've made that mistake before. Immune system agent could be a T cell in your body. And an antelope with twisty horns is an eland. Oh, antelope's question. Yes, okay. I was wondering how that worked. But yes, it's because I need an S on the end. That gives me the letter I need. Elans, I'm pretty sure. Antelopes with twisty horns. Worker who probably isn't paid enough as a peon. A dirt clump is a clod of dirt. And donations for the needy are alms. So indeed, this was the SPCA, Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. And then what is this? Like luxurious pillows are plush. Really, really spicy is ultra hot, maybe. Soccer star Messi, familiarly Leo Messi. And Delta blank Chi, House and Animal House. Delta Tau, I guess? I have seen Animal House, but it was more years ago than I can remember. And I certainly don't remember that, but that looks plausible. B&O and Reading, those are railroads. I think probably best known at this point for being, I think, two of the railroads in the US edition of Monopoly. The board game? Okay, either half of pocket rockets in poker slang. An ace, I guess. One of two aces, your pocket rockets, your aces. And then Google's searches, there we go, straightforward enough. Oh, and here's the house painter that I expected to find. One putting a coat on outside. So, of course, not wearing an article of clothing, but rather putting a coat of paint on the house after climbing those 3 rungs of the ladder. And good. All right. Glad that went well for this big Sunday grid. Wasn't looking forward to the potential of searching through it for an error, but did not need to. So, a very clever theme with this outrageous H ladder that runs entirely through our grid, bisecting it completely, and essentially taking these. No, it doesn't take these out of the crossword. Every half of them are essentially removed from having linguistic meaning in the crossword and are essentially a rebus. This is essentially a rebus in the sort of more classical sense of the term, as opposed to the New York Times specific meaning of putting more than one letter in a single cell, which is a bit more specific. But this is sort of a visual representation of the thing that we're the thing that we're describing here. And of course, as it says, a visual depiction of the apparatus used by the starred professionals, who are our chimney sweep, our submarine commander, our cherry picker, our telephone repairman, our house painter. Did I miss any of those? Oh, they don't highlight them. Oh, that's a shame. I think I got them all, because I think they all had to come from the left and go to the right. So I was just looking on this area, but I think we saw all of those. Very clever, very, very well done. So all professions who need to climb the ladder, which you can also do through the corporate ranks, which enables the revealer to also be clued as an ordinary clue. And there we have it. A very fun Sunday crossword by Jesse Trudeau and Ross Trudeau. And it wasn't all that challenging, I don't think, really, which is nice, because we've had a few particularly tough crosswords, I think, in the last few days anyway. Of course, results may vary for individual people, but I found them a bit tricky for their days. And this was, I think, a fairly gentle Sunday puzzle with an extremely ambitious and well-executed theme, in my opinion. Hope you agreed, but let me know one way or the other in the comments. And now, let's discuss a few clues from one of those tricky puzzles from yesterday's puzzle. And I do think I had several. There were several corrections. So, well, this isn't so much a correction, I guess, as it is further information. So, Salty Plum Soda says, regarding clue 6a, Red in the latest Animal Crossing game is a fox who arrives at your island to sell you possibly forged artwork for your island's museum. So there we go, Red Fox referencing the comedian. And in 42a, the flag of Australia is a blue field with an illustration of the Big Dipper with its front end pointing towards Polaris, North Star. So there we go. Thank you to Salty Plum Soda, which is an interesting sounding beverage. Monkey Flower explains that to present arms is an actual military command. Present arms, often given as a show of respect during official greetings of foreign dignitaries, parades, etc. And then separately, warm compresses, which treat a sty. So I was saying, do warm compresses actually treat the sty or itself or just the pain from it? And Monkey Flower says, indeed, they are actually prescribed as a treatment for styes and the related Gisalian. They do relieve the discomfort, but they also treat the styes by encouraging them to drain. So there we go. And George Steele adds this little note that if not armed, a salute is given in response to present arms. So there we go. Stephen Giblin explains that the University of Virginia is the site of Monticello, the home of Thomas Jefferson, and as such, it has been designated a World Heritage Site. And here is a bit of a correction for me. A sunburst would not cause pupils to dilate. Rather, the increased light would cause the pupils to contract. A little picky, I would admit. Yes, of course, that is true. Your pupils would dilate in a darker room to try and let more light in, and then the opposite happens in bright light. Should have thought of that when I was speaking, but I didn't. Just didn't really think about it at all, I suppose. I sort of just said something and moved on. Anyway, Theo H. says, so I referred to the NATO phonetic alphabet as the International Phonetic Alphabet, which Theo H. reminds me is actually the linguistic categorization system that contains almost all of the phonemes in Earth's natural languages. So that's those pronunciation guides you can get that indicate how to pronounce particular syllables and words. The NATO phonetic alphabet corresponds to the Roman alphabet plus the base 10 digits and is also commonly known as the International Radiotelephony Spelling Alphabet. That is what I was trying to think of and failed. Sorry if that's just me being nitpicky, but I'm a linguistics nerd and couldn't help myself. Nope, no need to apologize at all. Thank you for the correction, Theo H. And finally, Dances with Logic explains that zhuzh, which was spelled yesterday as Z-H-U-Z-H, comes from a slang or secret language known as Polari, used by carnival barkers, sex workers, actors, and such back in the 1800s. Polari fell out of fashion by the 1960s, but has been readopted to zhuzh-up characterizations, notably on RuPaul's Drag Race. So yes, indeed, I actually was familiar with this, but I didn't realize zhuzh was part of it. Polari is sort of an argot or a pidgin. It's essentially a pidgin language, so it's constructed from bits of Romani and Italian, and I think bits of French, and English, of course, as well. And was used by people from various professions as described here, and I think actually has been associated with kind of gay subculture further back than just RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm pretty sure. I think that goes back decades. But in any case, yeah, I just didn't realize that zhuzh was from that. But there we go. Thank you, Dances with Logic. And that's that. That's all I have for clues from yesterday's puzzle, today's video, and today's crossword. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow for the Monday puzzle, a nice, gentle, quick solving themed early week solve. Hope you join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Sunday. Take care.